Hello and welcome back to another episode of Women Unleashed. I'm just going to paint a picture for those who aren't listening. I'm actually filming a solo episode from home today on my sofa. I'm freezing even though I'm in Dubai. I don't know what is wrong with me, so I'm all cozied up in my joggies. But I wanted to talk about thyroid today, just basically because it's very close to my heart. Okay, it's been something that's been a part of my life for the last 4 or 5 years, and I just want to share my experiences and kind of everything that I went through myself. If it can help somebody else, then obviously I'm doing my job right. And as a coach that specializes in hormone female health, obviously a nurse, functional medicine for me is far more important than just your conventional. So everything that kind of your GP uses, the ranges, etc. What conventional medicine does is diagnoses you once you are unwell, once you are in the gutter of it, basically. Whereas functional medicine, we try and catch it early. So, the warning signs that show up, we prevent it from getting any worse off. And I feel like so many women are undiagnosed and go through pains and struggles with the symptoms, and they just kept getting told that their labs are normal, they're okay, it's all in the head, they should go on antidepressants, and that's really not the case. Like, you aren't going crazy. I can promise you are not going crazy. So I just want to run through a few things that people don't realize about the thyroid. You might already know this, you might not, but if it can help you, then here it goes. Well, first things first, the doctors mainly only test your TSH. Okay, now TSH is your thyroid stimulating hormone. This is not a hormone that your thyroid produces, as your thyroid only produces T3, T4, and reverse T3. Okay, so when the GP tests for TSH, it is giving you no answers. Even if the things are, in range or out of range, it's giving you like 1/5 of what is actually going on. Okay, and just for those who don't know, functional ranges for TSH is between 1 and 2. So anything above or beyond that, it's not good. Okay, it's not looking good, Queen. So yeah, if they only test TSH and they pie you off, please go get some private bloods done. I use Your Bloods, the superhuman test. Very, very good. I would highly recommend them. They are very, very, very fast, and I've got a discount code for them as well because it's taken me a long time to find a lab that's efficient and that tests for everything. So my code is DOM. Simple as that. I used to use Medichecks. The reason why I don't anymore is because they don't test everything in the one test. And if you keep adding things on, it just becomes more expensive. Whereas with Your Bloods, they are very quick as well. Say if you send Your Bloods off on a Monday or a Tuesday, you will get your results back like Wednesday, Thursday, like that same week. It's very quick. So please always make sure to send off your bloods Monday, Tuesday to not have any issues with bloods going old, etc. That's that tangent. The next thing is your T3 and T4. Okay, once you get that tested, it'll give you a lot more answers. Now, a lot of the doctors will treat an underactive thyroid with T4, which is levothyroxine. Okay, now if you're taking that, your levels aren't improving, and you still feel like shit, there is more than likely a conversion issue. Okay, and that's something that they don't look into. So yes, you can be on meds, your levels won't be getting any better, and you're not going to be feeling any better. It's really basically pointless, okay? This is why it's so important to look at the thyroid as a whole. The second thing I wanted to mention in regards to that is Hashimoto's, the autoimmunity of your thyroid. Now, Hashimoto's is the most common autoimmune disease out there. Okay, there is over like 100 autoimmune diseases, and Hashimoto's is the most common one. So if you feel like you are alone and you don't know anyone with it, start talking to people, because there are so many people with it. Okay, and if you feel like you want to be part of a community, you can obviously join the Define by Dom free community. Just drop me a message on Instagram and I'll add you to it. It's very supportive, full of women who get it. But antibodies, if they're high, so you've got your TPO and your TG, okay, they're your 2 thyroid antibodies. If they are slightly elevated or very elevated, and we can see by your bloods that, your vitamin D, folate, and some other vitamins and minerals are low, we can see that there is a clear Hashimoto's flare-up, okay? Now, Hashimoto's is the root cause of 90% of hypothyroid cases, which means that 90% of women who have hypothyroidism, it is down to Hashimoto's, okay? Because your autoimmune system starts to have a flare up. Okay. Now, when that happens, eventually it will start attacking your thyroid. So if you can catch Hashimoto's first before it attacks your thyroid, you are in a very, very good place here. Okay. So it's something that's really important to remember. The next thing that I wanted to mention on that front is the fact that your antibodies and levothyroxine are nothing to do with one another. Your levothyroxine is not going to bring those antibodies down in any way, shape or form, okay? And it's really important to remember that. So if your doctor's like, there's no different treatment for Hashimoto's, well, yes, there is. Like, I agree and I disagree, because the meds ain't going to do nothing, but there is a way of bringing your antibodies down for sure, and that's through lifestyle and nutrition alone, okay? And looking into the root cause of why have you got Hashimoto's, what has caused it, because Hashimoto's appears 5 to 10 years before it actually shows on bloods. So if your hair starts thinning, you're tired, things are starting to feel off, that could potentially be it. Go get everything tested, because you just never know when things are going to start going west, So that's one thing that really annoys me about the doctors, is the fact that they say you can heal Hashimoto's with meds. You can't, especially not T4 alone. T4 is the storage hormone. It's the inactive form. T3 is your active hormone, which is only 20% of what is produced within your thyroid, right? The other 80% is produced elsewhere in your body. So the fact that we are treating thyroid when it's only responsible for 20% in your actual thyroid of what's actually going on is crazy. There's other issues, around conversion. Conversion happens through a process called methylation, which doesn't happen in your thyroid. There's your B vitamins are responsible for that. So it's looking into all these different deficiencies as well. That's super, super important. Now, I've been through all this myself, the doctor's been like, no, you're okay. And a lot of my clients have been the same. And it's not until I look at their bloods as a whole, with everything from your full blood count to your full thyroid to your antibodies, and looking at the symptoms, looking at it in a functional way, that's when we can see, right, this is what's going on, And it's really, really sad, because so many women will go years upon years without doing anything about it. They just accept the fact that this is them now. This is how they have to be, and there's nothing else they can do. There is. I'm in remission, and so can you be, okay? Like, there's always something that you can do to make yourself feel better, and you are only 3 weeks away from feeling better in some way, shape or form. Like, are you going to choose to live this miserable life feeling sorry for yourself and, accepting the fact that this is it now and it's just going to get worse as you get older? Or are you actually going to be like, no, this is it. I'm stopping the self-pity party, and I'm going to look into what I can do. I'm going to work with somebody that can help me. And then eventually, in a few years' time, I'm going to be better. And yes, I did say a few years' time, because if you've had hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's for years, you think that 8, 12, 16 weeks is going to fix you. You are very wrong. I've been on this journey for 4 years, and it's been a hell of a journey. Trying to get to the root cause. Obviously, with my hypothyroidism, we knew it was Hashimoto's. What led to Hashimoto's? Well, 2 things. First of all, mold. And the mold led for me to have gut issues, which also goes hand in hand with Hashimoto's. So I think it's really important that people understand that there is a root cause to everything. A disease doesn't come from anywhere. Like, something has caused it to happen. And I believe a lot of thyroid issues come with emotional triggers as well, right? Hashimoto's, what I see in women is we are people pleasers, okay? We are people that are constantly on the go. We can't stop, we feel guilty for having time off. We feel guilty for not being busy, not working hard. It's just one of those things where we're just people pleasers, and that is it. And that is every woman that I see that I work with has the same traits, the same characteristics. So it's really important to start working on that. That was one of my goals for 2025, was to stop being such a people pleaser and start prioritizing myself. And that's exactly what I've done, and it's definitely helped. I'm in remission now with my Hashimoto's, which is obviously fantastic. But the emotional triggers that come with it as well. So in the spiritual side of things. So what we need to remember is that your thyroid, is your throat chakra. What is your throat chakra? Well, it's the fear of speaking up. It's the fear of being heard, right? And thinking about it, I spent a lot of my younger years being that way. I was too afraid to speak up. I was too afraid to say what I thought. Like even in relationships, I would be scared to speak to my partner about something in case they kicked off. And that just suppressed me for such a long time. It came out as Hashimoto's, and I left that relationship and things started to get better, so your partner, your parents, your family, your friends, they could be having a negative impact on your health, on your inflammation. Like I've noticed such a change in myself. Like it's not always easy to cut people off, but when they're family or your partner that you have kids with, but you need to start prioritizing yourself, girl. You need to start looking at what is causing you to be unwell, and there's a really good book that I read called Heal Your Body. And it talks through about every single condition like PCOS, knee pain, headaches, rashes, everything that you can think of. And it tells you exactly what emotion that's down to and what affirmations to do to kind of help you. Okay. So I would advise everybody to read that. It's called Heal Your Body. And there's another one by the same lady, Heal Your Mind, Heal Your Body, Heal Your Health, maybe. Again, I've read them all and they are all very, very good. And, looking deeper into your health issues and why they are there, why they're presenting and how they're presenting is what will help you heal. Because we don't heal just on a physical level. We want to heal on an emotional level, on a psychological level and a physiological level, right? We want to cover it from every single aspect. And this is why the things that I do every day for myself, my morning routine is the most important part of my day because it keeps my cortisol levels low. It keeps my nervous system regulated. I'll wake up. I won't touch my phone for 30 minutes to 1 hour first thing in the morning. I will meditate for 10 minutes. I'll do journaling or gratitude for 5 minutes. Then I'll go for a 10-15 minute walk to get sunlight exposure. And it's very important that we all do this within half an hour of waking, an hour tops, because that helps to regulate your nervous system. It puts you in the parasympathetic you know what, Dom? Stop with the long words today because it's just not working for you. Brain fog central. But it helps to regulate your circadian rhythm, so you sleep better, your body clock works better, your inflammation reduces, and you feel more motivated, your mental clarity. Like there's so many benefits to getting sunlight in the morning. Now, when I say sunlight, this doesn't mean actual sun itself, because I know if you're in the UK or somewhere that is cold or raining, if it's cloudy, you are still getting sunlight exposure, but through the clouds. It's called daylight exposure, okay? So try and change your routine where you focus on yourself a lot more, and don't let the doctors dismiss you. Don't let them tell you that it's all in your head, you're a mom, you should be tired, or go on these antidepressants, because you're not depressed. Nobody's looked into your hormones. Nobody's looked into why you're feeling the way you are. You are not depressed. Trust me. There's a big difference between hormone dysregulation and depression. So say no and go do your research. Find somebody that you can trust. Find somebody that knows their shit, because there's a lot of people out there who actually don't know stuff, and they claim to. So make sure you do your research, look at the people that they've worked with, look at the credentials as well. It's really, really important. And I hope that if you're listening to this and you have a thyroid issue, or you feel like there's something underlying, that you get your answers where you need to. Now, I'm launching something big in the new year. I'm launching a thyroid education platform, okay? It's called Define Your Thyroid. And in there, I'm going to educate you on everything that your doctor didn't. I'm going to explain everything to you that you need to know, and what to do and how to help you the best I can. And this will be free for most part. Mostly probably for the first 50 to 100 people, potentially. I'll see. I don't know if I'm feeling good. I'll leave it free. But I want to educate people, especially those who can't afford to work with other people or can't afford to get the help that they require. I want to at least give them education so they can support themselves and they can try find the answers. But if you can't afford to work with somebody, I would really highly recommend that you do. And don't do what I did. I spent years trying to figure it out myself. Like eventually I figured it out, obviously, after failed protocols, failed practitioners. I got there in the end, and this is exactly why I'm trying to help as many people as possible now. But there's so many things out there on TikTok, Google, Instagram, and you just don't know what to believe, because it's not a one size fits all. Everybody is very different. Everybody requires a personal approach. So one size fits all, what TikTok tells you is probably not what you need. And if it's not working, there's a reason why it's not working, right? So having an individualized approach to what's going on with you is far more important than just following the crowd and what other people are saying, I guess. So just to kind of summarize it, you are not crazy. You are not a mum, so you must be tired. You are probably catching something early on that you know is not right, and you need to go get it sorted. Because I'm telling you, come to me. I understand. I get it. I will speak to you and I will validate how you feel, and I will validate your next steps, because you go to the GP, you just end up feeling shit than you already did, dismissed, misunderstood, you know? And you know what? Half the time I wonder if it's because they don't actually know enough about the thyroid. You think a GP, a general practitioner, they need to know a little bit of everything. Half the time you go to see them, they get up, Google, and start, or the BNF, and they start researching stuff with you. It's like, bro, I could have done this at home by myself. I've come to see a doctor in hope that they would help me in some sort of way, rather than you Googling my symptoms with me whilst I'm sat here in front of you. Do you know how dumb you look right now? Like, this is actually blows my mind. Call them out on it. Be like, should you not know more about the thyroid? Should you not know more about this condition? Why are you sat here? Did you not just spend like 5-10 years at medical school and you sat here telling me that, you know, you don't know what it is or what's up with me? It's wild. But even getting sent to endocrinologists as well, it's the same thing. What do? Put you on meds. They don't discuss your lifestyle changes. They don't discuss what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, how to reduce inflammation. You know, they don't look into any root causes. Oh, honestly, I feel like it just gets me so mad and riled up. Anyway, wanted to do this short episode because I get a lot of messages and a lot of questions around thyroid health, okay? And I feel it's really important that people understand that there's a lot more to it than what they already know. But thank you very much for tuning in. Whether you're a guy, whether you're a girl, I welcome you back to the next episode next week as well. Any suggestions on what you would want to see, hear, people, topics, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you on the next episode.